your estimation, this entire policy has been turned on its head. It's that this was a mass humanitarian migration, and now, in order to deport, you have to go case by case. Mass on entry, case by case when leaving.
So, yes, and people need to understand the use of the word parole in immigration. Parole isn't like prison. It's permission for one person to come into the country based on their own individual reasons. And instead, the Biden administration set up the CHNV program as a mass parole. That is an oxymoron, Will. There's no such thing as mass parole. So here you have the Trump administration trying to undo that. And the judge says, oh, no, now to undo what was supposed to be case by case in the first place, but wasn't, you have to undo it on a case by case basis. I recall listening to Stephen Miller on the White House grounds giving an interview where he said, look, if we have to go through a case for every single one of these 10 million people that Joe Biden let in here, it'll take decades to undo it all. That's outrageous. And you have a judge here really interfering with executive prerogative of the president. And like I said, turning the whole parole system completely on its head.
The story in part, Ken, is about a judge once again interfering with the executive's implementation of immigration policy. But the story is also, as you point out, the Biden administration. These numbers are pretty staggering, actually. This program, which was put in place in early 2023, so it's 2 years old, brought in 530,000 people. Here are the numbers, by the way. 211,000 came from Haiti. 117,000 came from Venezuela. They were mass importing immigrants into this country under this program.
Yes, absolutely. That was the point. And again, mass parole is an oxymoron. Congress set up the parole statute, and it actually says in the law, case by case. And yet we saw Obama do this with things like DACA and DAPA, very similar with using their prosecutorial discretion. And now we see the Biden administration using parole to establish entire programs without congressional permission and to let in illegal aliens, because that's what they are. Parole is used to make an exception to your ability to be here legally. And they did it en masse. This was a big program the last 2 years, but it wasn't the only program under Joe Biden.
No, that's a good point. It wasn't the only one, but it is one that we should make this point as well, Ken. One would be tempted